I already know what it is. We got another fire video. So I wanted to talk about today that the gym, it's not about lifting weights. It's not about that six-pack abs. It's not about, looking like you're on trend or you're natty, if you are or not. It's not really about any of those things. It's a spiritual journey disguised as a physical one. And the only way you're going to get to that point is you have to genuinely be on the journey. Because see, for me, you go from incline pressing 20 pounds to 85, and that's all you only think. That's all. It's a 65 increase over X period of time. But how high your standards are going to get between 20 to 85, and then how it's going to bleed into other aspects of your life, that's really where the magic in this gym stuff comes in. Because I'll tell you guys firsthand, you're just not going to tolerate nonsense, bullshit, low vibrational people, all these things. It's going to occur when you really get on, the self-improvement journey. That's why your circle gets smaller and smaller, which is a good thing, because the people that last, and that's the thing, you'll know they last even after all the changes. And that's another thing too. See, you're always going to be working out, eating healthy, but things are going to change around you. That constant state of you're still doing that activity, even though everything around you is changing, that's good. That's where the spiritual alignment and being in harmony with yourself comes from. And that's what discipline is all about. You don't feel like it, you still do it. You didn't want to work out 5 times that week and you still did it, great. You didn't want to wake up at 5 a.m., but you do it every day, fantastic. That's what it's really all about. Because that's the thing most dudes, we're just too emotional. Like, we act like bitches. And you have to just tell yourself, like, it doesn't matter what I think, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna still do these things. Because that's what actually locked in people do. See, if anything I'm saying offends you, or you think, oh, it's not true, you just don't know. And that's okay, but you go on this path long enough, find other locked in people, and when you see them and interact with them, you understand, yeah, all roads lead to this. There's no way around it. There's always going to be a couple of outliers, but unless you're the exception, you're gonna have to get on your diet. You're gonna have to work out. You're gonna have to do all these things. There's no way around it, because you need to build that merit and delay that gratification. The gym is one of the first things that's going to teach you that. See, even for me, I would have always thought I was a patient person. But see, you go on this journey, you're going to get humbled. Because when I really think about it, I've been training for 5-6 years, but really, it's only been, honestly, 1 to 2, because the first 4 years, you're kind of half-assing it. You're not, like, you say you're eating right, but you're still cheating, like, once a week on all these things. So when you get genuinely locked in, that becomes the starting point. Your journey is going to start from that point where, okay, boom, you know what your standards are. Now you fight to the life or death to uphold them. And then from that point, boom, now you can start counting. That's why they say the whole 6 months of monk mode. See, it took me a while to understand, like, why do people do that? But everything just, you keep working out, you take this stuff more seriously, and then boom, you're like, oh, okay, boom. Your standards got so high that you went into monk mode and you weren't even aware it was called monk mode until you found out after. These are just things that happen on the journey. And that's the thing, it's not going to be up to you. The universe is going to pull you in the right direction as long as you prioritize yourself first. It's going to pull you in the right direction, because I understand now that what you can't do or don't want to do is you don't want to put someone's peace or well-being above your own. You always got to prioritize yourself first. And that's going to make you come off like an asshole, because now when you interact with people, you're thinking, does this person help me? Do they inspire? Do they motivate me? Do I want to be like this person? It makes you a lot more aware, but people will think, oh, you don't think that's a little transactional, selfish, egotistical? But innately, what they don't understand, the people telling you that, is they do that too. Everyone innately does it. You just become aware of it, which is why you become even more selective. Because as your standards gets higher too, that's going to reflect in the people around you, because your standards are going to be so high. But that's the thing. You can't be straight and lean and all these things, and then you're around people that are overweight, out of shape, or I don't work out. I'm telling you guys firsthand. I don't tell you these things because, just yap about it. It's all happened. These are all canon events. They're going to happen. They're gonna happen. You can't avoid it. You can't stop it. It's like Attack on Titan. All this shit that happened, like Aaron's trying to, you can't stop it. You can't. Just gotta embrace it, because it's gonna happen. When you get really locked in, you're gonna drift apart from people. It is what it is. You're just gonna become more authentic. Because now the stuff up, I'm like, I believe all this, of course, so I'm able to talk about it consistently because it's very true. And every day you continue on this path, you get more and more evidence that all this stuff is true. The body game stuff, why you have to be lean, because you already see examples of it, occurring. See, for me, it's crazy because the gym and this nutrition stuff, it's just reality. It's very objective. There's no feelings attached to it. You could say you're doing all the right things, but you're gonna get feedback, every day. Every day you get feedback. Weekly, you'll get feedback too, if you're tracking your weight and all these things. See, for me, the waist is already down 2 inches. Now it's, my waist is smaller than all the females in my family now too. It's 29. But that's the only starting point, because I literally just started cutting, it hasn't even been a month yet. I'll probably make a video on how the cut's going. But my thing is, I'm like, oh, this is easy. Because again, I was already eating for fuel. Now I just track what I eat, and I just eat a little less of the same foods that fuel my body, and avoid all the bullshit. It's like subtle tweaks, but these subtle tweaks are the biggest difference, because they put you at a new standard, a new, what I call, base state of vibration. So now instead of Super Saiyan 2, you stay in Super Saiyan 3 all the time. So if other people are at Super Saiyan 3 level, you're gonna drift apart. It is what it is. But you just have to keep going, regardless of what happens. Keep going until every goal you want is accomplished. And as long as you don't give up and you show up every day, boom, it's gonna work out. See, I'm already the leanest version of myself. I'm already lean because my actions align with someone that's lean, and that's gotta manifest eventually in this world. So I don't even worry about it. I don't even care about it because I'm already lean. And it makes you just really detach. Because the whole detachment thing, I didn't understand. But you get to a point where you're just eating for fuel. You do all the right things, so you don't care about the outcome, because the outcome is going to come. It's not going to be in a day, but it's going to come. So you just detach from it, and boom, you're going to get it. Because you're doing all the right things. And every day you get more and more merit. That's why you got to do SR. That's why you want to get on these streaks. You want to treat if I used to think streaks were a little, but now I'm like, it's not that I'm against them. I guess most people could do them in the beginning, but after a while, it just becomes like a number. So SR, I still count the days because I'll still do update videos, but now it's like a base date. It's like after they achieve Super Saiyan 2, Gohan and Goku, it's like, the base state gets stronger. That's what it kind of is now. So, but I'll still do update videos on 150 days, 180, things of that nature. But it's just really interesting. When your standards get so high, the stuff that starts to occur around you. You won't be as stressed. Even if you have reason to be stressed, you vibrate so highly that your ability to respond to things that happen, it's just gonna be way better, because of testosterone, so you can just handle stress better. Because that's what a lot of people don't get is, as men, we can't, you're going through something, so you just check out and you stop trying. That's feminine, that's emotional. That's the bad version of that stuff. Now, the one that can emphasize with someone that's going through something, yeah, sure, but a lot of times, this is a problem as a society. We keep calling everything. We keep trying to downplay stuff. If you're 400 pounds, that's a serious problem. And people that try to, instead of thinking, body positivity, just be in a deficit, track your calories and eat less. You have an actual problem. Yeah, we want to tell these women that, it's okay to be 400 pounds. When their waist is probably double mine. And they're it's really crazy. Things like that, and you just become, you're like, wow, what the hell happened? How did we get to this point? That's why you can't, the drugs, the smoking, all these things, you can't use that as something to run to. That's why you have to, honestly, the whole 6 months thing, I do get it, because if you go 6 months, right, that's 180 days SR. You didn't smoke, you didn't drink, you didn't have any cheat meals. You're going to be forced to deal with parts of yourself. And if you overcome that, boom, it's like you get a new base state of powers that you can work with. So I really do get the whole monk mode thing now. It's not really more so the time. It's just, you have to do it properly. See, a proper monk mode is it's basically isolation. Like, and if you still go out, you're not doing no dumb shit because remember, you have to wake up early the following day to get your workout in, hit your protein goal. You still have to do those things, but you gotta do it every day. Because what I started to realize was the magic is when if you eat healthy 6 days a week and that 7th day, you jump out the cliff, as I call it, you're cooked. But if that 7th day, you don't jump off the cliff, that's like a new level. And then you make that your baseline, trust me, it's because it still doesn't make sense. People will struggle to, and my thing is, damn, I'm already pretty lean, but I just started cutting. See, when you start cutting, I went from 185 to 178, but that's mostly going to be water weight. Then the process, it'll slow down and down, for a couple of months, and I'll start cutting calories more and more. But I still thought, okay, 2 inches off my waist was pretty fast. I thought that was pretty easy. But that's because my standards are so high, because I know the people that I'm surrounded by now, they've been doing this for years. Like, this is their base day. So I'm like, for me, I'm like, okay. If I'm gonna get to that point, I have to view it the same way, even if you don't believe it. But me, this is something that maybe it's a little hard to explain, but I guess because I haven't worked out and eaten right for so long, making minor tweaks like going from 6 days eating clean to 7, it doesn't feel as drastic because I already had enough merit and evidence of doing that consistently for years. So people that don't understand that, you probably just haven't been on the journey long enough. But lately I've just been thinking, this is kind of easy. And it's pretty peaceful. That's another thing too. It's like, you don't talk to anyone. You just boom, you just do your thing, boom, boom, boom. For me, it's like, I actually started watching anime again, funny enough, even though I'm more locked than ever. But that's because I've been reading Atomic Habits, and, you habit stack. So if I want to watch episode of anime, that comes after I hit my protein goal. I hit my 180 or 190 grams. And I really don't have time to watch it's only like while I'm eating, but it's been kind of fun because now you're like, you're rewarded, So if, you can take something that you need to do with something that you want to do and habit stack it that way. But very good book. Highly recommend you read it because I understand now reading that book. Like, this is why the gym is so easy and stuff for me, because it's an identity. It doesn't feel forced. It's just something I do. Something that works out. So someone that works out doesn't miss workouts. But your standards will get higher and higher and higher because there's plenty of people, you might be 90% of the way there, but it's that last 10%. That last 10% where you go from, that person has to work out, to holy shit, like, what the hell are they doing? Like, what type of demon time are they on? See, that's what I want. But I know I'm going to get to that point because I'm doing things that most people can't do. Most people, they can't eat the same meals. Very few people can do that. That's why you're going to look better than most people. But not because of the abs or anything. It's just a consequence of you have a much higher standards than the average person. See, you guys just don't get it because Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, it's just brainwashed everyone. We think everyone's like in shape. It's so far from reality. It's crazy. And it's something I've had to come from. She was like, I still, in actual, like, when I go out, I'm going to look better than most people. But when you compare yourself to Instagram, I'm like, damn, hang on, everyone on Instagram is, holy hell. Like, do I even work out? But you actually do work out. It's just Instagram is just not reality. Plus, they're in ideal lighting and all these things. But we'll see how my perspective on that changes when we get towards the end of the cut, which will be in a couple of months. I'll probably do next video. Tomorrow we can start a new one. I should have my my camera and mic tomorrow, so we can start Tuesday. We can probably start like a new series called the Lean Chronicles or whatever, where we kind of talk about how the process has been and everything. But if anyone's listening and you're deciding if you need to cut or bulk, just think like how long you've been lifting, and just be objective. Just look in the mirror. But probably got more body fat on you than you think. So because for me, the whole bulking and cutting cycle, I don't really want to go through that anymore. So you do one good cut, get to 10 between 12 body percent or 8, and then boom, just main gain. At least for now. Maybe we could do slight, very slow surplus bulk, from 8% back up to 12, but always want to be relatively lean going forward because I think the vibration that you get from being like at that body fat, it's just, there's only good things that can happen. And that's another thing too. See, everyone that's like, eating healthy is expensive. You know they don't eat healthy because healthy people aren't telling you that. It's so cheap, it's fucking stupid. Like, especially if you're cutting, oh my God. Because if you're cutting and you don't eat out, you're gonna be like, damn, it's actually, you can, because I eat a lot because, I weigh a little more, I'm taller, but I'm thinking like a female that's like 120, 140. Oh my goodness. If they eat the same way I do, they're spending maybe $40 a week on food. And even less because, I go to a farmer's market, but, you go to Walmart or something, boom, it's going to be even cheaper. So that's another thing too. You just won't, if you tell someone something and they make excuses, but your standards get high, you're like, no, that's not an excuse. Because if someone's working 80 hours and they still at the gym 5 days a week, I don't have an excuse anymore. But you just have to be around someone that's actually done that with proof. And then you're like, damn, there are really no excuses. Regardless of what happens, I'm gonna work out and hit my protein goal because there's literally no excuse. There's no, and that's the thing too. The people that are like, I don't have time, you really have no excuse. You don't know anyone that's died. You haven't really gone through anything. Yeah, what are you talking about? Like, that's the thing too. Because, that's all, like, everyone goes through stuff, I get it. But that's the thing, trust me, someone has it much harder than you do. Not to compare people's traumas because everyone's different, but when you just get to a point where, like, you know what, like, the world doesn't care, so let me just lock in. Because there's really no excuse at the end of the day, There's no excuse. That's just the harsh reality, That's why, like, I've been rewatching Attack on Titan. And it's like, the world is cruel. Just being objective for reality is very important. That makes you colder, too. But, man, that's the goal. You're trying to be the coldest, baddest motherfucker on the planet, Trying to be dangerous. But in a good way. On some David Goggins shit. But the only way to do that is to just be on this journey and genuinely follow it. You can't slip up, you can't go backward. Because remember, you're only going forward or you're going backward. There's no in between. Literally, there's no in between. You go forward or backward. This whole balance or stability thing, people that are average do things in balance. I would assume if you're watching self-improvement content, you don't want to be average. So that's what you have to get to the point where you understand that. That's what makes you content being alone, where you don't need another person. You're not going to tell someone else what to do. It's either they do it or it is what it is. That's it. And you'll get to that point because you recognize, damn, so much wasted time. But once you get to a certain point, you're like, oh, wow, like, we're never going back. I refuse to go back to that state that I cared about what other people are doing. Because when you're around locked in people, you don't have to tell them anything. They just do it. They're already doing it. They're going to tell you, oh, when are we going to the gym? Not like, oh, like, should I go today, or what do I do, or what do I eat? They're already locked in. And if they're in the beginning of the journey and they remind you to lock in, boom, you can work with that. But that's the most important thing. When you get on this journey and people start to separate, or if you're evaluating your circle, you have to think, what is this person doing in the present? Not what they're saying, what do they actually do? And what's the proof that they're actually doing? These are all things you're going to pick up on. Once you pick up on these things, if they don't align with your standards that you have now, you have to cut them off. You have to cut them off because they are going to hold you back. But that's the thing, you won't have to, because what you're going to notice is, think of it, I thought I've used the eye as an example before, but just think about it. If you're a low vibrational bot, you're not going to want to be around someone that's locked in high vibrational, because that person is going to recognize, oh, they don't have any excuses. Oh, damn, like they actually say and do the things that they talk about. I don't have an excuse. So it's one of two things. They're either going to rise to your standards, or they're going to become even more distant and then separate. It is what it is. But no, it wasn't you, because you've been consistent the whole time. Like you've been doing the work, so it's not you. You just have to get to a certain point where you start to see that. But it's not you. You're doing all the right things. If you're working out, hitting your protein goal, you're in your deficit, boom, you're doing all the right things. Just keep going. Whatever happens in the external is not because of you. If people don't like that, it is what it is. But you get to a point where you just don't care. Because, you don't want to be like those people. So where they drift apart, you're like, it is what it is. It's fine. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to be, especially as a dude, you don't want to be someone that's so emotional where it's like, oh, the first sign of trauma or whatever, you just clock out, check out, you stop doing all the things. That's not what discipline is about. Regardless of how I feel, I'm going to still show up. I'm going to still record. I'm going to still upload and post. That's another thing too. I think the biggest thing is because, remember, you can't fake this stuff. You can't. That's why one of the best advice I got was just upload daily, because that's something very few people can do. You have to do things consistently daily that very few people can do. Even if you're scared or you don't know, it's fine. Just do it. The key is just to start. Just start and then, see what happens. There's retard Max. One of my favorite characters, right, Deku. I mean, this nigga had no idea what he was doing. But he's got that spirit. He's got, that right mindset where he's like, we're going to try to save this person. Even if it doesn't make sense. When he fought Todoroki, he broke his fingers once. And he was like, oh, maybe I can break them again. Man does not care. But that's retard Max to the core. You don't really know what you're doing. You just fuck it. I'm gonna just upload, I'm gonna just post or boom. You know what? Like, it is what it is. I'm gonna just yap, even if it don't sound right, you're just gonna yap because someone will resonate. But if someone hates, then you know they're a bot. See, the people that clown on, I'll take retention as a good example. Anyone that's like retention is nonsense, you've never done it. You don't know. You don't do. So you don't know. So what you say is irrelevant because you haven't done it. Get to 6 months on retention, then you can come back and be like, retention doesn't do anything. But again, anyone that's done 6 months retention, they're in such a different mindset and their external is probably so different. They're like, yeah, no, retention does do something. It's a reason that shit's talked about. Well, not much because, it's dangerous. But when you take back your power and master less, as a consequence, you're just going to get the shit done that you need to. And that's been the biggest thing for me. You can't listen to trolls, people that aren't where you're going. You just can't. Because the more I thought about it, the people telling me about moderation and balance, they're not what I want to be. They don't even inspire me. They're overweight and they don't work out. Why would I listen to these people? And that's why damn, that does sound kind of crazy. But I'm like, no, not really, because you got to be around locked in people if you want to be locked in yourself. Or you get to the point where you don't interact with anyone. So the only person you interact with is yourself, which that is true. You're with yourself 24 hours a day. But I've gotten to the point, guys, where I'm gonna just do me. That's the thing. You just do you. You find maybe 1-2 like-minded people, and that's it. Because at the end of the day, that's all you need. You can have your friends, because I understand not everyone's going to be, boom, let's get a self-improvement. Let me be locked in. But you can have your day ones. But as long as they're not negative. See, that's the thing. There's a difference between you don't have to want to be a millionaire. But as long as you're not low vibrational, that's the thing. The negative energy, that you have to cut off. See, you can always work with someone, but if the energy is negative, you can't be around that. You can't be around that. But for me, the goal is now, boom, just one other genuine locked in dude that I know and I can actually visit and drive to. But I'll manifest that. It's coming. I know they're out there. Maybe they listen to this video. Maybe I've already met them. But they are out there. So that was the biggest thing of me finding a new community. If you're a nigga, because I'm black, there's other locked-in niggas out there. It's very few, but they do exist. It's you're gonna stick out like a sore fucking thumb, but they are out there. They do exist. And that's given me a happiness now I can't even express, because you're like, oh, you're not actually alone. Oh, there are other niggas that like anime and they're actually locked in and they're really about this health shit. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh, they're like me. And that's all you really need. But when you see how they vibrate, how they speak, you're just like, damn, I want to be like that. And when you see you're doing all the things that they're doing, they've just been doing it longer. All you know now, oh, boom, it's this time. Because it has to manifest eventually. And that makes you detached too. As you get more patient and disciplined, you detach because, oh, I'm doing all the right inputs. So it actually is going to work out. It's no more guessing. Like, oh yeah, it's going to work out because you're doing all the right things. And manifest slowly. See, for me, it's like, oh yeah, okay. I've already lost 2 inches off my waist. Now I'm 29, shit, okay. No, but we could take it much further. Maybe it's 28, 27. But the goal is, those visible lower ab veins. But just to have that set standard, But that's going to reflect in being 10% or less. That's the ultimate goal. While, of course, we preserve as much muscle and mass on the body as possible. But what I want to do now is just reveal the muscle underneath the layer. And then once we do that, boom, we have a new base. Because for me, that's this part of my journey now is just, okay, we're building an actual base that we will never deviate from. This is going to be the base. It's like Goku learning, if anyone's read the Super manga, where he starts to learn about Ultra Instinct from, what's that guy's name? The Galactic Patrolman? I forgot his name, but yeah. Feels like that's the state I'm at now. So, boom, once that's done, I'm going to be like, okay, great. This is our new base. And we don't deviate, we don't lower our standards. This is our base. So if anyone doesn't align with that base, you're gone, you're out. Because I'm telling you, it's going to make you so, you're not going to put up with it. You tell someone to work out and they don't do it, Okay. But you're not gonna beg, you're not even gonna care because like, okay, I'm gonna do me. Whether they work out or not, it's not contingent if I work out or not. I'm gonna still do it because I'm someone that works out. It is what it is. But a lot of people, and this is the most crazy part, is a lot of people, they don't want it as bad as they think. But see, me and I actually do want this shit. That's why I'm gonna keep showing up. We're gonna keep recording these videos. We're gonna keep doing all the right things. Because I know, yeah, like something I actually want. Whatever it takes. Some Aaron Yeager shit. You gotta keep moving forward. So guys, stay locked. And until next one, let's get it.